Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. Election Commission of India has rolled out the Special Intensive Revision Phase 2, that is SIR 2.0, in 12 states, which includes 8 states and 3 union territories, 9 states and 3 union territories. Now, what I'm told is that the Election Commission is facing administrative, political, and social challenges in West Bengal as it embarks on the SIR process. Now, a glimpse of the daunting nature of the challenges before the EC was evident during an all party meeting convened by the State Electoral Officer Manoj Agrawal in his office on Tuesday evening. The marathon meeting witnessed intense verbal sparring with representatives from the TMC, CPIM, and Congress collectively questioning the EC's intentions. Now, just to give you an example, the non BJP parties have asked that who has given the Election Commission of India the authority to decide who is a citizen and who is not. And they alleged that the poll panel is unprepared for the exercise. I'm told that continuous protests are happening outside the state electoral office. Likewise, there seemingly seems to be some kind of an impact in Uttar Pradesh, but how well the political parties are poised there, how will they tackle the situation? We'll try and discuss all of this. Joining me this evening is Chandan Ghosh Chaudhary, who's the West Bengal Congress spokesperson. Thank you so much, Chandan, for joining. We have Shaira Naeem. She's a senior journalist and political commentator from Uttar Pradesh. Thank you so much, Shaira, for joining. We have Samir Purkaistha, who's our senior editor from the Federal, who covers the entire Northeast. So we'll also ask him questions as to what's happening in Assam, which has been excluded. So that's also another crucial question, because Assam goes to polls the same year when West Bengal goes to polls, but Assam has been excluded because of the reasons. We'll try and discuss on that. We'll begin with Chandan Ghosh. Chandan, what is really happening as an impact of SIR 2.0 in West Bengal? What is your sense you're getting from the ground? You had an all-party meeting as well. What's happening?
Thank you, Nidu, for calling me, inviting me to attend this particular program, because it is basically the question which is asked here and which has really created the ground turmoil in the political system of Bengal. I must say political system of Bengal just because it's a huge electorate being exposed to suffer of these kind of decisions which are completely unprepared, especially the state like West Bengal, which is too populated, too closely, too densely populated. So here the election commission hasn't taken time here to complete it, been wrapping up just by one month, then another edition is given for the correction. But the basic things are to be addressed, which principally we should believe, and we had suggested not this time, even before this kind of announcement. I mean, delivered by the Election Commission of India. We have basically asked few questions which are very genuine on ground. The questions we had proved, even in the event of Karnataka electorate, in the event of the Maharashtra electorate, as well as Haryana. And then finally, we had challenged in Bihar. And as you know, that Bihar, the environment of political situation ultimately charged how far. And thus, it has come to Bengal. Now, the basic question is, what is the motive of the election commission here to roll out so fast of this SI? If I can give you an example, 2005, then you remember the two states were poll bound, and the kind of revision that was not SIR, but the kind of revision even stopped. That was Maharashtra. I mean, one was Maharashtra, another was Arunachal Pradesh. And these two states were stopped of the revision of the electorate just because of the reason that they were poll bound. Now, it is an impact, definitely, especially in Bengal. I tell you that this kind of controversy about the disenfranchisement of the electorate in many cases are pending. Now they are not heard. Second thing is that it is a sensitive borderline. As you know, with Bangladesh, is the longest borderline among the states of India. Now it has definitely the reason here to be sensitively analyze the trespassers, the refugees, as well as those who have settled here for a long time. Even one paper is missing, and they have been simply exposed to the foreign, I mean, being foreigner and been pushed back to Bangladesh. It has been the incident or incidents, as you can, I mean, you know. Now, the question is the borderline population, especially in Bengal, are not handled so sensitively, and there had been the BJP unit of Bengal started shouting about it just to create the politicization in the whole system, and thus we are basically experiencing the voice of ECI, the voice of state unit of BJP. Some of the central leaders of BJP are simply giving the kind of campaign, assumably going against the the genuine voters, sometimes genuine voters, and we have pointed out to handle it sensitively. That's not BJP we are asking for. We are asking ECI to be sensitive to do with these, I mean, the functioning. Interestingly, I tell you, so unfortunate incident yesterday, just because of the fear psychosis that we had deemed earlier also. I for Assam. Assam has been excluded because it is also going to be poll bound next year, but it is excluded just because of NRC. Now, Nilu, just kind, I mean, you think, you just assess that if there is a kind of, the spray that Assam is excluded just because of NRC and West Bengal is the most threatened by this NRC, as the genuinely, there had been the detention camps and all in Assam and been proved they were innocent Indians, and finally they have been taken out from the detention camp. Now, these kind of harassments are going. So,
But
without this environment,
Chandan, you mentioned about NRC, but do the people in West Bengal also feel that SIR 2.0 is nothing but going through an NRC process?
that is there. I tried to mention this only because I was about to come to this level. That NRC, that impact of the impression of Assam being put in out from this NIC panel, I mean SIR panel, has proved that there is, I mean, NRC incognito. It's an impression of incognito. It's impression of this. I mean, NRC in disguise that approaching to Bengal, and then finally there are fear psychosis created. And I tell you one more thing. Yesterday, very unfortunate incident happened in Bengal that one man, just out of the fear, he couldn't bear, probably that he had some problems or the other, but he had been living here, as proved, more than 50 years, just committed suicide. Now, this is really creating sparkles here, and it's the question that we had asked even before. Should not trade. SIR is a process; it should be taken. It is 8 time happening. It's not once, but they have been earlier have been quite with the sensitive. I mean, the rollouts by the government and the agencies. Now, ECI is playing. It's just simply playing, and thus they are not thinking about this kind of sensitive, the people are being at the threshold of their, even of their lives. And that's what is been the question. Even just started this yesterday a a suicide happened in Bengal. Now it may well really cause or influence others, and now this kind of fear psychosis we should really, we should really think should be stopped. And election commission, the agencies should really work out. I'm not talking about if this time I'm given chance next time, then I definitely talk about the kind of
No,
administrative fallacy
Chandan, when
and
you say walk
administrative
out,
lapses.
Chandan,
Even
just
in
hear me
case of
out.
BLO, in case of
No,
BLAs, in case of
when
BLA2,
you say,
there had been a lot of lapses. But
no,
again,
but
ECI should have been sincerely doing this. Should have been.
no, Chandan, I want to ask you, when you say that the political parties should walk out, what does it mean? Do you mean to say that the political parties will boycott? What does a walkout mean? If you're not ready for this
No,
process,
I must tell you here that it is not walkout that I said. I said that this ECI had to walk out. I mean, had to walk out of the entire, the facility as deemed to be provided, but it's not. We protested yesterday. Also, we met with the Bengal Election Commissioner, the board, and then certainly we had given the certain, the memorandum, and then we had given the protest letters also. We pointed out where the lapses are supposed to be. The administrative lapses are all the more. And I tell you, this is what the concept as we are having this moment. But once we enter into the entire structure, then you get to see that there are so many lapses, starting from BLA 2, BLA 1, then BLO. There are many BLOs are not ready to work. There are many BLOs are even their portfolios are questioned. I mean, their identities are questioned on how they could be selected or how could I mean they could be picked up as the BLOs. Now there are many questions here because one a particular board cannot operate unless the system that works. But the Bengal government as well as the central government should have come together, and then only this can be solved. And we've taken the political parties sincerely in confidence. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I think it's going to really create another fear psychosis story in Bengal. I tell you, Nilu.
All right. Okay, so I'll come to Samir now. Samir, there's a man who has died by suicide just 2 days before, and there was huge commotion. There was a lot of politics also on it. But what do you sense on the ground? You've also written a story yesterday on the federal where you said that there are political and social challenges. Now, what are the real problems which you are witnessing on the ground? Chandan, of course, was speaking from the point of view of a political party, but as a journalist, do you think that the situation is worse than what we saw in Bengal, though the process has just begun in West Bengal?
Yes, definitely. See, Nilu, this is not the first time that we are seeing SIR exercise in India. It has been, I believe, since
Yes.
the first election, 8 times this exercise had been conducted. But why this kind of situation this time? In 2002, it passed off very peacefully. Many people didn't even realize that such a huge exercise were conducted. But why this time? There is primarily two reasons for that. One is this to conduct this exercise. I don't know why EC is in so much haste. It is trying to wrap up the entire gigantic exercise within a window of hardly 3 months. Now first draft will have to be published by December. Then they will have to finish all these complaints and all those things by January, and then the final draft will have to be out by February. So basically, they have to conduct, say, for verification and all. They have just 1 month, hardly 1 month time. Then again for this further to entertain complaints and all, they have again about 1 month's time. So these in a population, West Bengal, as you know, has around 7.61 crore voter. So in a yeah, to conduct this entire exercise within this limited period, stiff deadline is very difficult, and there is bound to be lots of during this entire process there problems are bound to crop up. So that is one fear. And then another is the intention. As yesterday also political parties raised this question, because this SIR exercise is being done under the cloud of politics of fear mongering. The way the BJP leaders are, even before the exercise started, they are coming up with the numbers 1.3 crores. They are doling out figures that this number of people will be excluded from the voter list. So this kind of figures targeting particular communities is creating lots of fear, fear among the particularly among the refugee communities, Motuas and Namasudras. So, and yesterday, as a result of which we have seen one person allegedly committed suicide, hearing, pushback due to the NRC exercise. And election commission, instead of allaying this fear mongering, is actually reinforcing this kind of fear. I'll tell you why. By excluding this
Just
aside.
excuse me. Just excuse me for 2 seconds. Chandan and Shaira, if you can mute yourself. There's some audio disturbance coming from the background, So if you can just mute yourself, it'll be easier to listen to all the guests. Yes, Samir, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so election commissions should have should have stepped in to allay this kind of fear, but instead of doing that, election commission indirectly reinforcing this kind of fear. For instance, by keeping Assam outside this entire exercise, and Assam, as you know, is going to poll along with Bengal early next year. So by keeping Assam out of this exercise on the pretext that NRC, this NRC exercise is underway there. Uh, and this is by saying so, the EC indirectly has, it's a kind of giveaway that this entire exercise is more to do about citizenship determination than cleansing of the electoral process. Because, see,
No, but
this
election commission has been saying that SIR 2.0 is more about inclusion, not too much about verification. But what you are saying is
No, but
exactly
they
the
are not walking the talk. They are not walking the.
right.
Let me explain you why. See, if it is only to this thing cleans electoral roll, then why they are leaving out Assam? Because I am quite
Yes,
sure there are a lot of dead voters in the Assam electoral roll as well. There are duplicate voters, like one voters voting in two, whose names are there in 2 3 constituencies. That kind of scenario is there even in Assam. So who is going to clean them? This entire SIR exercise, primarily SIR exercise is conducted to clean this kind of ghost voters from the electoral roll. It's not election commission's role is not to see who is illegal migrants and giving out citizenship certificate. That is not election commission's duty.
right,
So, by linking Assam's NRC exercise with the SIR, indirectly the election commission is saying that this entire process is linked with the citizenship determination process.
right,
And
right,
this is, instead of addressing this fear which is being spread, particularly in Bengal, bordering areas of Bengal, it has further deepened that kind of uh, apprehension.
right. All right. So looks like Bengal, the scenario in Bengal is quite chaotic. It looks like a fear psychosis, which is getting triggered by this SIR 2.0. Now, I want to come to Uttar Pradesh as to what's really happening. Shaira, if you were there, and just unmute yourself. What is really happening in SIR 2.0 in Uttar Pradesh? What are you hearing? How are the political parties preparing over there? Though UP elections are still far away, West Bengal and Assam are next year, but UP is 2027. So, how are the political parties really gearing up when it comes to SIR 2.0? Yes, Shaira, you'll have to unmute yourself. Yes, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Yes, Shaira. Shaira, unmute yourself, please. Unmute. 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 Yes. Yes.
Problem over here with the net. So I really couldn't catch the previous speakers, so I won't be able to add on to that. But I'll give what is happening in UP. So I don't know
Yes.
if it will make any sense as such because I missed the very the previous speakers what they said. But what I
Okay.
can
No,
see in UP is that it is led to a lot of very strong uh, reaction from the opposition parties, especially the Samajwadi, the BSP, and the Congress, because uh, what they see this exercise is the disenfranchisement of the section which is their core voter. You know, the women, minorities, the backward, the Dalits, because they fear that these are the people who are going to be disenfranchised, who are the backbone of these political parties. So, in fact, the Samajwadi Party has already announced what they call is SIR PDA Prahari across the 403 constituencies.
okay.
They're going to appoint people who will ensure that things go right. that people
Okay.
names are not deleted of people who are marginalized or who cannot do the required paperwork, or and help them in any manner which they can. So this is one concrete step which the Samajwadi Party has announced to ensure that you know uh, their voters or voters who are from the
So these
marginalized
PDA prairies
communities
you're
are
talking
not
about.
disenfranchised.
But Shaira, these PDA prairies you are talking about, this is in a way BJP has forced the other political parties also to appoint their Panna Pramukhs, because I think it will happen every booth wise. Doesn't it look like a same scenario? Like BJP appoints their Panna Pramukhs. Now BJP has forced other political parties also to do the same, to watch and supervise this entire SIR process.
I really can't hear what you said, so I wouldn't be able to respond. It's only an echo happening. So
Okay,
I don't
okay,
know what
okay.
has gone wrong with
Go ahead, go
the
ahead.
Wi-Fi today. I can
Okay,
hardly hear you, so
okay,
I
okay.
will not be able to say what you said. So this is the thing, and the other political parties have already said the same. They have also protested, but they have not come up with any resolution of how to address this SIR. So right now, only Samajwadi Party has come up with this, and they are going to appoint these people, and they will, take a step as they go along.
Right. Okay, so
So
the
this is
PDA
all I can.
Praharis, right. So PDA Praharis have been appointed in UP, and of course, UP elections are still uh, far away because it is in 2027, but the exercise has already begun. Shaira is saying that Akhilesh Yadav has appointed, of course, the main opposition party in Uttar Pradesh, they have appointed PDA Praharis.
Yeah,
The PDA politics, so the
yeah.
PDA Praharis
The P,
have been
the
appointed.
P, Yes, the
You were saying
PDA,
something,
PDA
Shaira?
being the backbone. I don't know if I'm cross talking or what, because I have not heard what you asked me. I'm just speaking on my own. Okay,
Okay.
the PDA, which is the backbone of the Samajwadi Party, and which was the unity of this PDA and Congress was instrumental in the kind of astounding results which we saw during the Lok Sabha. So they will try their best to ensure that the PDA remains intact, it is not disenfranchised, and it is able to repeat the magic which it did during the Lok Sabha. So SIR is seen as an attempt to basically attack this section of the voters.
Right. All right. So the overall scenario doesn't look very good with SIR 2.0, and it comes at a time when a case in the Supreme Court is already pending as far as Bihar is concerned. Now, I'll take concluding comments from everyone one by one. Chandan, what would you really say? What is it going to lead to? Do you see any remedies so that the entire process can be seamless, can be smooth? Uh, how will you address it?
The first thing, Nilu, which I always suggest, and we had suggested even before, that we didn't have any complaint between 2002 to 2000, 2004. Particular, SIR that was happening during the time when our opposition party was in power and we were in power. Why didn't we have resolution about as well that what's supposed to be the reality and how to include this? I mean, going for the inclusion is a very interesting thing that a particular panel, as you are going to research into about this SIR, would just start with inclusion, deletion, correction. In the panel of inclusion, in the panel of correction, you are going to check, I mean, the election commission is going to check the dead voters, fake voters, displaced voters, I mean, double entry, multiple entry voters. So this would be the certain task. For that, you need time, you need assessment, you need research. Number two, that it is most interesting that we have in Bengal, as 2022, as electoral mapping is being held, and it has been assumed that it is 4.67 crores would be, I mean, that was the time 2002 to 2004, that was the entire panel of electorate, but now it is assumably coming as 7.61. 7.61, so means a great jump, a great leap of 3 crores of voters. So it has to be more sensitive about analyzing those voters, because as I told you in the first spell that it is located along along the border, the sensitive border with Bangladesh. And the third important thing that comes in, the census. Are we painting, the colors in the air? Are we painting brush just in the air? We should understand what are the basics. One of the important basics to be census. You know that continuously, even before freedom, before Indian independence, 31 census that we have been doing. Even earlier we did, but continuously every 10th year we have been doing this, the census.
Hmm.
2011, during UPA time, that was the last census. Nobody knows why. This 16 years around, there had been no collection of information about the size of population that you have need. You can say it is 1 point, 142 crores. I can say 146 crores. But that makes the difference of 4 crores. Now, this is going to be another, that should have been thought of. So Election Commission did not think about it. Neither they asked to the government, central government to do that. Neither they took the support. And moreover, the important, which I'm just going to conclude it, the most important part is to start with this kind of process of sanctity, the process of democratic sanctity. It should always take the confidence of all the political parties. They should have called the meeting of all political parties before they start this venture. But they didn't do that. These are the fallacies they must recover. Otherwise, it will be failed. It will be failed.
All
And it's going to be the condition as we are.
All right. All right.
Thank
So
you.
very briefly, Samir, if you could just summarize the whole situation now. You've heard also what Shaira was saying about UP. Similarly, it's going to be rolled out in Kerala. It's going to be rolled out in Tamil Nadu. What would you say over this SIR 2.0 overall? Very
See,
briefly. Yes.
Nilu, we like it or not, SIR is a reality. It is going to happen. So the political party will have to realize this. So now the challenge is how to make it as best as possible. So as Saira was pointing out, even in Bengal, TMC has started their helpline and booth level task teams to support voters with the exercise, SIR exercise. Similarly, other political parties like the Left Front and all, they are also doing that. So, parallelly, these protests should also go on to keep EC under constant pressure, so that they also remain very alert. Uh, so that is one part. And parallelly, these political parties, particularly ruling Trinamool Congress, which has a enormous organizational base, and it is the only political party perhaps in Bengal which has extensive booth level presence to keep tab on whether there is any discrepancies or laxity on the part of the election commission. So
Right.
TMC has wherewithal to do that. They have their booth level presence, but so far, till yesterday, no political party, no political parties, including TMC, have named BLS, booth level agents, that is BLA 2, in all the 80 plus booths in West Bengal. Last figure which I had is that from the election commission source, is that all political parties together, they have named only 18,000 odd BLS. So the political parties must ensure that they appoint BLS at all the booths, so that along with the BLOs, they can, because
Right.
this BLA can function as a kind of watchdog. So they will, and as the election commission has also pointed out, that BLO and BLA should work together. So the political parties should immediately appoint BLS and closely keep tab on the entire exercise. That should be, the best we can expect, because the SIR is going to happen. That is a reality that cannot change.
Right. All right. All right. So we'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Chandan Ghosh and Samir. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Right.